The Trump administration says that it's going to take something dramatic to keep the president from shutting down the U.S.-Mexican border. They've taken Dad to the hospital. Authorities are saying that he's up, alert, and talking. He's got some pretty serious injuries, but he is expected to be okay.
We dip into our local affiliate coverage here, KHOU. They've been covering this all morning long, talking to witnesses, talking to officials. Let's listen in.
And then I can see you getting emotional. You told me you're driving 90 miles per hour down here so that you can get to your daughter. One of the officials just came over here and kind of began walking us through what exactly is going to be happening in just about 30 minutes when that motorcade gets here. This isn't the first time the president has tried his hand at altering the legal immigration system. You can see the building up here is made out of brick, but if you start walking around towards the back, it turns into this wooden siding, and that's where that man, he was able to slip into this little nook here and then used a hammer and a chisel to break into the building. You can take a look down here, you can see some of the debris, you can tell just how high up that water got. I'm in front of Mr. Hubert Walker's front yard. This gives you an idea of just how much water poured down, and would you believe me if I told you that it started receding since earlier? The big question still lingering this morning, where is Malia Davis? This apartment complex is a complete loss. Just take a look at what's left behind. You can see it's still smoking a little bit. This event, it's very small, it's very intimate, and it's something that people say really sets them apart from the other candidates, that almost one-on-one interaction with potential voters. I feel like we're on that show, Potluck, with Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg, but I'm Snoop Dogg. So yeah, there's so much going on. 40,000 people expected to come out here at some point today to celebrate Independence Day. And you heard them popping it and dropping it. The Rockets are back in action tomorrow night in Oakland, and then they're back here in Houston at the Toyota Center.
I need to find Santa because I've got a request. Pay off my student loans.
People are saying they're all about the move. So guys, I don't know about y'all, but I've driven in this Houston traffic and I'm all for it. If it's going to help us out.
Yes.
The process of getting justice for little Malia Davis is just beginning. Her remains are currently in the Harris County Medical Examiner's office. Without getting into too many of the gruesome details, we've learned the state Malia's body was found in is making determining her cause of death a difficult task.
It was a gruesome sight. It was a terrible sight to see.
Authorities say they've made it past the first challenge, formally identifying the child's body found on the side of an Arkansas highway as the missing 4-year-old. Now the medical examiner is working on an autopsy, but those close to the case say it could come back inconclusive.
I think it's going to be impossible.
Friday, Malia's stepfather, Darion Vince, allegedly told Quanell X that the little girl died by accident and where he dumped her body. But the activist wouldn't delve into whether or not Vince revealed what happened. What's on the forefront of everyone's minds now, if and when Malia's stepfather will be handed additional charges. We spoke with KHOU legal analyst Gerald Trees, who says the DA's office is likely waiting on enough evidence to build its case.
I'll give you a guarantee that child didn't kill herself and didn't carry herself to Arkansas. The government will charge probably first-degree murder and ask for the death penalty. It'll be a capital murder case.
Trees says he's also watching to see if others will be charged in this, likely for helping Vince cover up the death. Police say someone dropped Vince off at Methodist Hospital to help create an alibi the night Malia was reported missing.
I have a lot of emails coming in to me from viewers wondering about the mother. How much complicity is the mother involved in this?
All questions investigators hope to answer as more evidence pours in. Standing for Houston, Janel Forte, KHOU 11 News. He's one of the first faces that comes to mind when you think of Houston rappers. But under the radar, Slim Thug is making a mark in the city that extends beyond the music scene.
I put 500 into...
It's a quest being taken on by rappers across the nation, buying back the blocks where they grew up and reinvesting in them. A movement recently thrown into the spotlight after LA rapper Nipsey Hussle was slain in front of his South Central store.
I seen people raise the question, well, who's Houston's Nipsey? And I seen a few people mention my name.
Quietly, Slim has been buying up properties in his old stumping grounds of Acres Homes.
Yeah, the rock driveway.
And he's doing so with some of his longtime friends. There's Troy Green, Corey Crawford, and LaShawn West. Together, they make up Boss Life Construction.
This world is mine.
The goal was to just actually get into the real estate business. For the most part, is how it initially started.
Their plan to rebuild this community had humble beginnings.
We started out in the tax auction, buying properties, and we noticed that there was a lot of people buying from our community that wasn't from there or never been there.
So they decided to try their hands at it themselves. The friends say it was harder than expected.
We just kind of formulated and jumped out on faith, not knowing real estate, learning as we go on our own.
In 2016, they completed their first block, transforming this into this.
We gave it that kind of heights feel, you know. This is Conklin block. We came through and we built 7 homes.
Things began to take off from there. The centralized point of development, Burns Barbecue, co-owned by Crawford, they plan to capitalize off the foot traffic.
We want to try to develop this whole block, this whole neighborhood, build more commercial restaurants around our commercial businesses, so when people from all over the country come in and see it.
In between rebuilding homes in the area like this one,
We're buying older homes or foreclosed homes and we're remodeling them to make them look better and bringing them more up to date.
they've also just put a handful of new townhomes on the market.
This right here is just luxury living in acres home.
But when they see us long-term down the road, they'll say, hey, these guys came into this community and developed this community when a lot of people didn't want to do it, didn't want to touch it, thought it was like just the hood.
And the friends hope that what they're doing inspires others.
Everything that's cool for rappers is bad investments, cars, all that stuff. I'm just trying to encourage the youngsters to get involved with other things.
The debris fields, it's extensive. It's total devastation out there.
Lonnie Alley is a former Houston firefighter and one of the volunteers assisting with the search efforts.
What's so difficult out there right now is there's not a lot of water. It's a lot of mud. And then the mud is like quicksand out there and gets stuck very easily. And that is impeding some of the searching.
Searching for the remains of the third person on board and the critical black box and cockpit voice and data recordings, which should reveal why the Boeing 767 aircraft abruptly went into a deep dive into the shallow waters of the Trinity Bay. The Amazon cargo plane went down without a distress call Saturday just before 1 p.m. Investigators say they're analyzing a 5-second video clip from the Chambers County Jail showing the plane as it fell from the sky. They've also put a call out for anyone who may have other recordings or pictures of the plane crashing to contact them. From just outside of the media staging area, we briefly chatted with the FBI team helping the NTSB with the investigation. Just beyond us, crews huddling before heading out on the water, airboats revving up to continue the difficult search. In the distance, debris visible in the bay, investigators wading through looking for critical pieces of evidence.
It's pretty bad.
But it's a task crucial to figuring out the unusual crash and the first step to an investigation that could take longer than a year to complete. What would it take to get you to camp outside in the Texas heat for 24 hours? Is free Chick-fil-A for a year worth it?
Yes, it's worth it.
52 weeks combos is definitely worth coming out for a camp out.
With temps close to 100 degrees, this fan, no, not this one, isn't getting his feathers ruffled because he's done it before. You're sweating already.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a hot day.
And to keep cool in this heat, this pro recommends
A pop-up shelter, something to keep shaded. Make sure we have plenty of water. Several of us have got fans and games and activities.
So what's so hot about this location anyway? Well, it's the first drive-through only Chick-fil-A in Pearland.
Hi.
Can I get a...
They're not open yet.
Now, if you don't have a car, all you have to do is walk up to one of these windows and order your food. Now, of course, you have to wait 24 hours to do that, but the folks here today, they're not sweating the wait.
Guess what? It's hot, but we're going to think that it's cool.